Howdy is my Trey Crowder impression. Welcome to Weekly Skews. I am Mark Agee. Here with me tonight is Drew Morgan because Trey is busy on deadline doing some Hollywood shit. Very important. How you doing, Drew?
Hey, I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Good, man. Thank you for doing this, buddy. Long time since we caught up. I'm glad, looking forward to this. So Drew's in, it's about 8:30 where he is, Eastern time in Eastern Tennessee. It's 5:30 Monday. For me, it's Cinco de Mayo, right? Everybody celebrating?
Anybody else got a marg drunk wife? I do right now.
Well, yeah. What's Andy up to, by the way, on her margs?
She just had she's on the board of the local arts council, and they had a meeting tonight, and I'm pretty sure they just culturally appropriated inappropriately.
Yeah, hell yeah, there you go. So America's all about, baby, taking the most mediocre stuff from other cultures and making it ours. We got a fun show lined up. We're talking about some fucking Canada's elections and some horrifying fucking ICE crackdowns on random teenagers in California who are American. But first, before we get to the show, I wanted to just a quick couple Mad King updates. I see that Trump wants to reopen Alcatraz, Drew.
I've heard about this.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
He paired it with saying he wants to tariff movies that are made overseas, which someone noticed that over last Saturday night on local cable in the area surrounding Mar-a-Lago, Escape from Alcatraz was playing, so maybe that inspired both thoughts. But he seems to think we closed Alcatraz because of woke or something, as opposed to the fact that it was 3 times more expensive to keep inmates there because they had to ship water in on a boat. Drew, as a former defense lawyer, do you agree with the premise that American prisons are too nice?
Yeah, that's always been the sense I get when I'm there with people, is that everyone there is having a great time, and we are turning out people who are weak and unable to cut it. They were coddled in prison, so when they get out, they're unable to cut it in America. No, it's a nightmare, and the reason you should care about that, not only because they're human beings, shout out my brother who just got out, you should also care about that because there is almost no rehabilitation inside the American system. It is damn near impossible to come out a better and more improved person, and I think that should be the goal, regardless of how you feel about prisoners or crime or all that. So no, I don't feel that way at all.
Yeah, but it's not like being locked up for 10 years is going to be a lot of fun, even if you get to read books and shit, which is okay. So the movie tariffs thing is pretty fucking funny to me because one, it's illegal. It's not going to work. He's not going to do it. He already backed off of it some, but apparently what happened was John Voight, who he appointed ambassador to Hollywood, like it's a foreign country, presented him with a plan to invigorate American movie production, and involved a lot of components like tax credits, subsidies. And tariffs were a small part of it. Trump just heard tariffs, and it's the only thing he remembered, and said he was going to basically make it illegal to make the French Connection. The part I found funny was the CIA and DOD have script approval departments to work with production companies. They make fucking
Top Gun.
Yeah, Top Gun, the Marvel movies, Zero Dark 30. And so they're saying the CIA is wait a minute, we're trying to make movies to recruit people to join the military and CIA, and you want us to fucking set them in Wyoming and Missouri?
Yeah. I don't know if you know, but we have to convince everyone the world's evil, and the easiest way to do that is Hollywood. I almost feel bad for evil people right now. Top of the list, potentially John Voight. I don't know if he's evil. I know he and I disagree about a lot of things, but It must suck to go through all of that and be all right, I know Ambassador to Hollywood's a bullshit title, but I'm going to take this seriously because I've been in Hollywood for a long time and it means a lot to me and I love America and I'm a patriot and blah, blah, blah. And then you come back with this thing that you probably spent a lot of time or money at least and social capital on. Mm-hmm. And then he's tariffs. Got it. Running with that. This is what it's like, by the way, to work for or with a famous person who's a nightmare. I mean, Trump has always just been a reality television star at his core, regardless of whatever else is going on in his life. This is what it's like. It's like you put a lot of work into something, and then they take one thing and run with it. And the disgusting thing is when it works, because clout matters more than substance in this country. So, I'm loving it. I'm loving that the CIA, secretly, that's my guilty pleasure currently is that the CIA is like, this dude he's trying to do evil and he's so bad at it, he's fucking up our evil.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Although, yeah. So, I just anyway, I look forward to the next season 2 of Day of the Jackal, which will involve like a high-class assassin gallivanting around, I guess, Cincinnati, Detroit.
Yeah.
So...
It'll be the border. You're going to get 3 or 4 seasons in a row of the border if this goes through. And then what? You're down in Florida fighting Cubans, I guess?
Yeah.
Are they still communists?
Say enough. They're communist enough for us to get mad about it. So, some fun corruption updates. I wanted to flag this because this is deeply hilarious. So, this international trucking company, logistics firm named Freight Technologies, has decided to buy $20 million worth of Trump's meme coin in order to get invited to an exclusive dinner. And they explicitly said, to quote, to be an effective way to advocate for fair, balanced, and free trade between Mexico and the United States. So trying to bribe Trump with meme coins to not destroy the economy, or their company at least. And the reason we know about this is they put it in an SEC filing for why they were issuing bonds to pay for the meme coins. They put now in government filings, we need this money to pay bribes.
Dude, again, I feel like I felt when I was laughing about the CIA thing. This is a guilty pleasure of mine. Donald Trump is like, hey, fuck all this lobbying, fuck all this buying congressmen through super PACs. Can we get rid of the red tape? Just give me money, and then I'll let you do what you want. And it is slightly refreshing. And I know that a lot of Skews viewers don't want to hear me say that. I'm not saying I like Donald Trump. I do not. I'm saying that bribing the government should be this out in the open. It's less corrupt to be openly corrupt than it is to be quietly corrupt. And I'm a little in. I'm a little in on this. You're not buying it?
I'm as cynical as you, for the most. Well, I don't know if anybody can be as cynical as you, but I do. But I do think we're going to miss. I miss.
You're cynical about
so
my.
Yeah,
you
so
miss. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I get that. I do get that, especially when it comes to fascism, because like if you know, it's like bribery out in the open, you can make jokes about, but like fascism out in the open, you're like, man, I really miss when they had to hide it because then the scale wasn't as big. I gotta say though. This did remind me. I don't want to like jump around on topics. I will circle back to this. It did remind me of the lady who did the GoFundMe because she called the little kid the N-word, and then she started a GoFundMe, and then it was sad, but I was like getting such a kick out of how dark things have gotten, and I started feeling sorry for her accountant. Like, what's this guy gonna write down? Like, what's his plan here? And so I was thinking about this when you sent me this story. It was like their accountants got to be looking at that like. Can we call it lobbying? If lobbying is legal, can we call it a lobbying expense? You can write that off, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely, you can definitely write some business expense. But I still think we're gonna miss regular old like as much as we make fun of it and complain about it. Like regular old routine American corruption did suck, but comparatively, we were one of the least corrupt countries on the planet somehow. That's no more. And let me see what I'm talking about. I do find it deeply funny that they're basically writing down 4 drugs on a check memo, but that's basically what they're doing. But anyway,
that part in The Wire where he's taking notes at the conspiracy to sell drugs. It does feel like that. You can move on, but I don't feel like I feel like we wrote the article that said we were one of the least corrupt countries.
Fair enough, maybe, but there's a reason the world historically has parked their money here. It was safe here. It's not the reason it's fleeing is because it's not. I trust the money people to vote with their money. Is what I'm saying.
Always.
So, let me give you 2 stories that are a new fresh hell level of corruption we weren't dealing with before. These are 2 headlines from the same day. New York Times, United Arab Emirates pours $2 billion into Trump crypto coins. Bloomberg, Trump White House may ease restrictions on selling AI chips to United Arab Emirates.
Hey,
Aristocrats.
Man. Yeah. It's always sort of worked like this. Just 5 steps removed. I agree with you that the 5 steps once removed are helpful. Those are important corruption fighting steps. But it is like, it's almost entertaining to watch the Jamie Dimons of the world sweat. Again, it's going back to the same point I was making with the CIA. They're like, I almost feel bad for evil people right now because they're like, this dude's fucking up the game. How does he think this is what we were doing the whole time? He doesn't know we've been doing his idea, but better. He actually thinks we've been playing by the rules. Trump has been sitting around going, these idiots aren't selling power. God, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm enjoying it less than you are, I guess. So
Why?
Right, so
Tell me why.
because Jamie Dimon's going to be fine.
Sure.
It's working people are going to have really, really fucked. Even if we get to enjoy the a little bit of Schadenfreude and a few rich people getting theirs. So
I guess I just feel like working people have been fucked a while, but I hear you.
Right. I don't want my nephew's about to finish high school, and I'm not looking forward to Trump trying to send him to Iran. So yeah.
Sure. But I guess my point is that's happening. I'm gonna laugh at the CIA.
Okay.
Like Trump's doing that. That's going down. So let me laugh at the CIA.
All right. Fair enough. We get our jollies where we can. On that note, let's get to the show. Producer Matt is with us on the ones and twos as usual. A couple quick shilling things. Check out Trey's tour dates on TreyCrowder.com. Watch his special Trash Daddy. I think you can find a link on there. It's on YouTube. And as always, if you enjoy this show and want a couple more episodes of it, subscribe to our Patreon. For $5 a month, you get 2 more episodes. We got one coming later this week on whatever I decide later. I don't know yet. I think it's going to involve community college and artificial intelligence because that's really interesting and depressing to me. All right. So, Matt, hit us with that Daily Dumbass graphic, please. Tonight's Daily Dumbass is a soft-ass flyer raid squad for not knowing they send out the real Delta Force for actual pamphlets. Matt, video, please.
We have a warrant. I'm out with your hands up.
This is for one college kid
Who sent out flyers?
who hung up flyers. Okay.
Legally, by
yes,
the way.
Yes. So this kid named Michael Chang hung up flyers around Irvine, California on lampposts with the faces and identities of a few ICE agents who are rounding people up in his community. Perfectly legal. These are not fucking hit squads. It's like saying, hey, immigrants, look out, here's some people to keep out for if you're trying to not get snatched off the streets, okay? Whether or not you know if this is legally protected speech or not, it is, and they sent out fucking dozens of officers in fucking, like, Navy SEAL Fallujah gear to arrest this kid who wasn't even home.
Right.
They got the Panopticon, and they did not know he had moved to New York a month ago, which is information I could get with the next LexisNexis subscription.
Yeah. Any private eye could have told you that in 10 minutes. And I mean,
Right.
like the fat drunk ones, too.
Yes.
I might be slightly flipped. This might be where we flipped because I can sort of hear the like cynical glee in your voice, and I'm smiling. But this to me is scary because all this was for show. But the part that's entertaining is that they didn't know it was a bad show. These fucking morons were like, hey, call the local news. We're going to go scare this kid in Irvine who's a pro-Palestinian and pro-immigrant, what's the word I'm looking for? Agitator. We're going to go get his ass. We got 12 cars, a tank, call the news, and we're going to call Fox. And then the Fox local, which is not Fox, that's like the number one thing to me. They're like, yeah, call Fox. They'll be friendly. The Fox local was like, look at these morons. Everyone in the country. My own father-in-law, who is barely skeptical of anything on Fox News, would look at that as someone who's been to war and been like, why are you doing that? What's it for?
That's why I find this more amusing than other stuff, because this is absolutely not going to work. Like this stuff's more likely to cause it back to life. So like everybody, even guys who have like your father-in-law have served in war, look at that. They look at that gear, and they're like, that's more than we had to actually fight wars.
Yeah.
So
I think I just see it as a force, a show force, and that is scary because he has power over that. Going back earlier, and I'm sure talk some people off the ledge, and off the ledge I mean of hating me. I think Jamie Dimon hears about that guy buying $20 million worth of influence and is like, there's no way that guy's going to influence the president. Not on my fucking watch.
Right.
Here, I see this and I think, yeah, these guys look like idiots, but they're going to murder people along the way. I guess I have the same take as you did before. I don't think that guy's actually going to use Trump coin to affect trade. I know trade's going to suck, but I don't think that guy's going to be the reason why. I think these people are going to murder people. I think they're going to murder a bunch of immigrants soon.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why. Well, yeah, we just
Or non-immigrants, which is not worse. I'm not suggesting it's worse. I'm just highlighting how stupid they are.
It'll be politically more dangerous for them, but yeah, it's not like I don't think it's morally different. But yeah, but like, so, but the thing that strikes me whenever this stuff happens is like how much just average like fucking city cops just really want to play. They just want to play American Sniper. They
Yeah,
want to feel
bad.
like Chris Kyle.
Call
Okay?
of Duty, dude.
Yeah, there's a certain type of American who, because of those propaganda war movies we talked about earlier, or whatever, just thinks that the highest level of life you can achieve is to hop on your comms and say shit like Katana 1, this is broadsword actual, permission to go weapons free on this you just nerd from fucking UC Irvine. You know, like I just don't understand like why these people think this way or why they think it's. But like when I say these people want to play like American Sniper, just play this video, Matt. This is drone footage that the ICE and Secret Service gave to the local Fox affiliate. If you got this video, Matt, this is going to a guy's house. Look at that.
A college student who hung up
Because
flyers.
that's a convoy of like 4, 8. I count 6, 7, 8 fucking up armored Humvees and MRAPs and shit.
This is
And
what
then,
I'm saying. This is pathetic.
Yeah, it's like how much of a moron do you feel like you're kitted out like you're about to take doors in fucking Mosul or something in an up armored Humvee, asking for the rules of engagement over the radio as you roll past a Pokeball place? Like, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
You're living your dream. I mean, the only thing that actually makes me sad about this is how happy these people were that day. Again, I want to touch quickly on the other story. That dude's playing big time money. Whoever bought 20 million, this guy thinks 20 million is going to buy him a seat at the table. These guys think their tactical vests and the fucking Rena tank that they got when the federal government gave them their budget a few years ago makes them soldiers. It's all a joke. It's all farce. The problem with Trump is that farce is in. Farce rules the day. That's what's scary, is that people are going to die, and as you said, workers are going to lose stuff because, like, clout and... I mean, dude, how many people who voted for Trump have you heard say something like, well, he's just really funny? And you're like, well, yeah, undeniably, that's hilarious. It's all dark. It's all fucked up, but it is a little funny. Like, these guys, I hope, are so ashamed today. I hope that they are the butt of every joke. And there's no way anyone listening is like this, but if there is some listener out there, if you're over the age of 25 and you've ever put on a tactical vest for any reason other than like actually going into a zone, kill yourself. Shoot yourself in the fucking head, you stupid child. You're a joke.
Yeah, even like the thing is like these like so if even if you're still a cop, but you're an actual like tactical cop, like, you must look at those clowns and think there's like that's the shit they wear to like do the hostage rescue raids, and like there's like these guys are like knocking on a guy's house, like a 19-year-old kid's house door. So like anyway, has anybody got eyes on Michael Chang, or has NYPD put him in a shipping container in an Egyptian black site yet?
It's either that or like he's at home. They still don't know where he's at because he's not on the lease of the room he lives in New York. Like, he's got 7 roommates. He's in a polyamorous Brooklyn house. I mean, think this dude's a pro-Palestine agitator who's fucking with ICE. He's living in Brooklyn. He's got 2 girlfriends and 3 boyfriends. They don't eat meat. He has a few they friends. He's not on the fucking lease, dog. He lives in a warehouse. He eats someone's pussy for his rent, and I think he's a hero to me.
American hero, baby, Michael Chang. Some other free speech news real quick. Quick question, Drew. Let me quote this headline from Reason. Should sharing information about Israeli businesses get you 20 years in prison? Because this is a serious question that Congress is considering, or was.
It's so funny who killed it.
Yes, we'll get to that in a second. So this week, the House of Representatives was set to vote on something called the International Government Organization Anti-Boycott Act, which would impose a maximum of 20-year prison sentences or $1 million fine for complying with international human rights sanctions against a U.S. ally, including by furnishing information. This is about the boycott divestment movement about Israel.
Can you connect the boycott divestment to the UN sanctions? For the listeners, not for me. I understand it completely.
They're saying that it should be illegal to boycott countries the U.S. government considers an ally, which of course, I'm not sure why it's connection to because of course Israel's less popular in the wider world than they are in among like the United States Congress, but like I don't really know the connection with the why legally it's connected at all with the United Nations, but like the idea that you can force. So how would you even know that I'm involved in a boycott movement? Like, what if I just buy Boar's Head hummus instead of Sabra?
Right. Like I don't even know. I'm just out here shopping for my family or whatever. I like the
Right.
pig.
Yeah.
That's your defense, Your Honor. I like the pig.
Yeah, I guess if you try to organize a boycott, but how are you gonna? They can't force. I mean, again, so far in America, and you can't force people to buy stuff unless it's like car insurance, right? So like,
It's also crazy that we can still, I think, like boycott America, or you know what I mean? Like we can. I mean, I know that's coming next. I understand how fascism works. It's just stunning. It's worth noting that Israel is the first country you're not allowed to be against instead of America.
yeah.
Old head Republicans got to be perplexed by this one. Imagine the ones who hate Jews, what they're feeling right now.
Dude,
I keep feeling sorry for evil people.
You mentioned like who stopped. Let me fill the audience in for a quick. The reason I said it was set to get voted on, and it's not getting voted on, is because a couple of Congress people like Marjorie Taylor Greene announced they were voting no on it because they thought it was a violation of free speech. Marjorie Taylor Greene is absolutely right. The Groip, but I do not like being in the same foxhole as like Groipers and shit who legitimately oppose this because they are anti-Semitic.
Yeah, you got to read this headline. Why the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act now has a religious liberty clause to protect, quote, Jews killed Jesus statements.
Yes.
Now, I'm reading this, Mark. It's not dead. They're just having to, throw a little pork barrel in there, because Jews don't like pork.
Yeah, this was passed by the House last week, I think, but it is probably dead on arrival in the Senate. But again, we tried to talk about this bill a while back, and Marjorie Taylor Greene was opposed to it because she thought it would forbid people from saying that Jews killed Jesus. She fought to have that included in the bill so American anti-Semites can still have free speech rights. So if you're keeping score at home, this would criminalize non-anti-Semitic criticism of the government of Israel, while also making sure that U.S. Christians can be anti-Semitic to American Jews.
I can't imagine being Palestinian and hearing about this right now.
How do you
imagine like someone trying to make you understand, first of all, the concept that is Marjorie Taylor Greene on its face. But then also being like, so what you're saying is this is about the war and the bombs being dropped on my head and the fact that my entire family's dead. But really it's not. It's about anti-Semitism that actually exists versus fake anti-Semitism, which is like this weird reverse wokeism. It's like they did the reverse Uno on liberals or something. It's genuinely it just has to be so beyond the horrors of everyday life. It has to be so frustrating to know that the people backing the genocide that is coming upon your people is just a culture so fucking stupid that Marjorie Taylor Greene stopped this.
Is a voice of reason. So yeah, it is like this is about civil rights law. It's not about criminalizing stuff, but it's about being able to sue people for discrimination. So just to clarify that up. But this bill had 24 sponsors in the House, 4 of which are Democrats and are the ones you would expect. But I find this project where they try to find this lane where they can establish a completely authoritarian state when it comes to criticism of Israel, just that and nothing else. It's a really fascinating fucking project to watch unfold, even if it is stupid and evil. Moving on, our honorable mention daily dumbass today is Americans who didn't think Trump could get Canadian grandmas to break broadcast decency laws. Hit it, Matt.
I think who I voted for would be the best to take care of Trump, because Trump is, I'm sorry to say, an ass.
I like that she hit us with the Canadian national motto right before she dropped it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So Canada rejected Pierre Poilievre. I think I'm saying that right. He was the most MAGA aligned Canadian candidate for prime minister to re-elect the Liberal Party led by Mark Carney, who Carney is like a liberal technocrat. We're familiar with this type, ex-banker, So congratulations, Canada, on not collapsing your country, but not actively trying to make it better. Let's see, at least you made a more responsible choice than us. But yeah. But basically, if you had to boil this down to just voting between the choices of SNL cast members, they went with Mike Myers and we went with Rob Schneider. All right, so it's true.
We can do it.
Yeah. So the polling turnaround Matt's got up here on screen is absolutely astounding. Just by way of comparison, on January 20th, the day of Trump was inaugurated, the conservatives are up by 23 points in the polls. Just utterly astounding fucking collapse that can only make sense through the lens of Donald Trump being just one of the most reviled people on the planet.
This is crazy. It is nice to see empirical proof that Canada is as stupid as we are. And I know that the argument here is that they're smarter than us because they didn't vote in the Trump guy. And I get that, and sure, they are. But regardless of what happened here, whether they believed the conservative was the better choice until they saw Trump, or they just however this went down, stupidity is at the crux of it. That is also apparently a rotten culture. To flip that quickly, that suddenly, regardless of the reason, is insane to me.
Yeah, but I mean,
what was happening on January 19th where they were like, nah, I think it's pretty cool what Trump's got going on.
Trudeau's like a feckless, like he's been in power for a long time. Nothing's really gotten that much better. I mean, we're familiar with this sort of he's Keir Starmer. Unlike American liberals like to hold power and wield it, just ran on conservative suck. Just look at Trump and swung the polls to a massive win, while American Democrats ran on we have to appeal to the 4% of conservatives who don't like Trump and got their fucking ass kicked.
Liz Cheney.
Yeah, it is.
Did the end of Trudeau not come with a little bit of a plan? Because I was also frustrated with Democrats' lack of we're going to help people.
Well, there's that, but I mean, obviously the comparison to see how bad things. I mean, Trump's threatening to fucking invade them, so it's like, when you're threatening to bomb their country, voting for the guy who's kind of aligned with them is like, okay, well, we see how this. It's a pretty.
You guys
easy
are on
sell,
the way to Greenland.
Yeah, so it is to Democrats. In Democrats' defense, it's pretty hard to campaign against this. Here's a screen grab from Fox News celebrating Trump's accomplishments in his first 100 days. If you got this, throw it up there, Matt. Declassified the AFK files, ended federal support for paper straws, ended production of the penny.
Oh, I didn't know about the penny. Rest in peace, Penny, dude.
Yeah, I don't think he actually did pull that off yet, but anyway, we can take credit for it. I know he wanted to.
This reads like bad satire. I can't stress enough how insane the time we're living in is. That feels like that's too on the nose. That I see that and I go, all right, Sorkin, you could have done better than that. It's a little too much.
Yeah. So, how long you lived in Australia for a while, right?
Yeah, about 7 months officially. So we'll stick with that since we're being recorded here. I moved somewhere else and came back to fly out.
Okay, so we won't get into Drew's days being a drug mule for the Jakarta Mafia. We'll come back to that later.
And also, that car that was registered in my name that they found on the streets, I had nothing to do with that. Someone stole it.
All right. So Australia also had elections over the weekend. Had a similar dynamic. Here, throw this photo up. I love Australians, man. Throw this image of them voting up, Matt. Yeah, they vote in Speedos. Australia, of course, has...
Fuck, mate. Forgot I had to vote today.
I just love it. It's like, yeah, it's not obligated. They have compulsory voting. I guess you have to pay like a $20 fine or something if you don't go vote. So everybody votes. So you just run out. You just hop out of you take a break from surfing to go vote. So the Conservative candidate there is a guy named Peter Dutton, who in the Labour Party candidate. The Conservatives are they're called the Liberal Party. I don't really understand why I want to get into it, but the Liberal Party is the Labour Party.
Theories.
Yeah, so classical liberals, like the kind of libertarian. So that was much more explicitly like the Labor Party literally ran ads with if you got this magazine ad, it's a Trump where Dutton's face is half his and half Trump's. So they were basically just, this guy's Trump, fuck him, and everybody's like, yep, fuck that guy. So they actually they called him they tried the stupid Clinton campaign nickname thing, but it kind of stuck. They called him Doge Dutton. All right,
like Doge, yeah. Elon's Doge. Okay.
Yeah. So this is pretty funny. I wish our elections felt this relatively not as apocalyptic as far as the stakes go, so we could do silly shit like this. Here's cable news coverage in Australia of how they just announced that Dutton had not just lost, but lost his fucking seat.
This is a big one. Peter Dutton.
Here you go, cunt.
Home Affairs Minister, Health Minister, Defence Minister, someone who served the country in the Parliament for many years.
20 years, Charles.
Fought off tight elections. He once said there was water lapping at the door. I think that's what he's feeling right now.
Oh.
His hero politically is John Howard, and like John Howard before him, he has lost his seat as leader of the Liberal Party. And a genuine thank you to your service, Peter Dutton, but also into the drink. 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
the ball.
and he's
Remarkable.
and off he
You
goes.
cut it out. They literally throw their
Remarkable.
politicians in dunk tanks. I fucking love it.
Dude, it's so unreal how just great it is there. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously from that segment you can tell it's not that they have some super snappy media keeping everyone in check. It's just they just don't have problems. I saw recently their biggest issue was a scandal that was rocking through the political landscape where their prime minister had accepted illegally an upgrade to first class, multiple, on Qantas Airlines. That's a scandal there. That the prime minister got on a plane and the lady working at the gate was like, you want to fly first class? You probably should, huh? I mean, also, he's flying commercial. Think about that. Like, that's... I miss it. I miss it so bad.
Yeah, there was a scandal in the UK a couple weeks ago because some government officials took free burgers from Five Guys or something. Yeah.
Man, that's not even one from each guy.
Yeah. All right. So to sum up here, the Trump administration's record of direct interventions in elections abroad. J.D. Vance and Elon tried to boost the far-right party in Germany. They got fucking wiped out. Elon broke all record spending in Wisconsin. That's domestic, but I think it's worth mentioning. GOP lost big. Trump tried to campaign for the Tories in the UK. Tories collapsed. Trump insults Trudeau, does a 51st state bullshit. They dumped, Liberal Party smartly dumps Trudeau, and Pierre Poilievre goes from being favored to be the next prime minister to losing his own fucking seat. Dutton lost his fucking seat. It feels like the world is finally pushing back against this wave of like populist fascists, and the only people too dumb to learn from our mistakes is us.
The American Democratic Party. Can't wait to see what pile of warmed over mashed potatoes they run next. We could get anything through, and they'll probably run Kamala again. Anyway, go ahead.
Nah, well, I have more hope than you, but only because I need it. So yeah, my question is it just because Trump was first, and otherwise every European country was about to elect like Oswald Le Pen Mussolini, whose granddad had a weird resume gap from 1938 to 1944, or like?
I think it's realizing that Trump is in charge of the American military. It's not fun. I think that watching him fumble the tariffs and plow through this first 100 days with no regard, not only to the world economy, to the American economy, it's making people abroad go, man, even people who are like, I really like how he fucks over trans athletes and calls fucking reporters the R word. People who genuinely love that shit are like, but like, people like that can't have their hand on the button. We got to have an adult. We've got to live in a society. I guess we'll compromise culturally on these issues, and let a tech overlord run the shit like in Canada. You know, it's not like anyone's electing their own version of Bernie Sanders. Everyone's going, "Where's our Biden?"
Right. Because it's like they're looking. It looks like things are moving towards the risk of World War III, and it's like it's going to be America, Russia, Israel, and Saudi Arabia versus the Allied powers.
Yeah. So, China's going to be America.
Yeah.
In the storybook.
Yeah. Fuck. Oh, yeah. Damn it. All right. So, anyway, things are pretty bad, but they'd be even worse if every country elected the brain dead Hitler fungus particles that infected every country's government. It'd probably be way worse. So, congrats to Canada and Australia for trying to hold the line against the world collapse.
This is what he calls hope, folks.
It's better than otherwise. Like if like Poilievre isn't like as MAGA-y as like he was presented in the election because they were campaigning, but like he's not great. So like yeah,
I'm happy about it. I'm the one who's having a good time.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Elon's new company town in Texas called Starbase. Matt, if you got this video, hit it. This is NBC News.
Just miles from the U.S.-Mexico border, a statue bearing Elon Musk's likeness gazes over a wild Texas landscape.
What the fuck?
And may soon be the country's newest city, Starbase. The name, a nod to Musk's SpaceX vision to bring humans to Mars using Starship, the world's largest rocket, and this is the launching site.
You cut it back.
Does that
So-
picture that said Occupy Mars meant to be insulting?
Like you mean like?
He looks like he's wearing a skin mask.
No, this like they love it. Like okay, the residents in this call this a town a little bit ridiculous because there used to be an unincorporated area called Boca Chica Village, just 1.5 square miles where the company exists. The election in this 1.5 square mile area, now known as Starbase, which Elon won. There were 283 eligible voters in what's now Starbase, and the vote was 212 in favor and 6 against. Those are Saddam Hussein level numbers to essentially make Elon the mayor of their lives. They gave their boss the right of prima nocta basically, and I don't even think they understand what they did because they're all in this like little fucking cult, I guess. Because those are astounding. Only 6 people were like, maybe I should make my boss the government because what cops am I gonna call if he chains me to my goddamn workstation? You know?
Yeah. Seems like it's a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought I was going to get a lot more joy out of this one, but this one's kind of making me feel dark and ominous.
Oh, it'll get funnier. Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's continue then.
So I feel like they're this is going to end with like some Branch Davidian and Waco type situation where the government's going to have to send an armed force to remove Elon because like this gives SpaceX impunity over its own operations to the point where they could do land grabs through eminent domain. They can restrict public beach access to the people that actually live in the community, and just generally less oversight, which of course is what they wanted. But I got to give it to Elon. I'm not sure if this is a lateral move or a downgrade, but he went from being the shadow president to the mayor of his own small town. Like I thought he was Lex Luthor, but it turns out he's the Penguin. So I don't know what to fucking think about this.
I mean, first of all, I don't think you can do eminent domain as a town. I could be wrong about that. I think you
can.
Okay, fair enough.
That's how I only know it because I covered like when I was a reporter when the city of Arlington took a bunch of land to build new stadiums for the Rangers and the Cowboys. So yeah.
Okay, then the city
I
took
think
it, not the state.
You have to you can do a quasi state board where they work. It's too large.
Well, it does sound very Texas-y. This is so darkly funny. I hope it ends with him living there and like being trapped. Like I want it to be full on. Autonomy? I don't wish this for those people, but they voted for it. I want full on. I want his whole cult of his kids that he keeps getting these women pregnant, probably by artificial insemination, living down there. This is the only way it could end. Is just complete bare face, him and 3 other dudes. And 2 of them are starting to realize, wait a minute, I don't think this guy's going to take us to Mars. That's what's great about this is there's like some people who are there like, this dude's going to take us to Mars. And in 2 to 3 years, as the FBI comes to shoot them in the head, that's when they're going to realize he's not. And that's what's great about every cult. And I mean that so sincerely, is that no one knows they're in one till right before they die. It's just a few moments before you die that you realize, oh, this dude's making Kool-Aid with arsenic in it. I'm going to die. Or the FBI's coming to murder me and my kids. I'm going to die. That's going to happen to some of those folks. And I'm sorry if this makes me a bad person. It gives me a little bit of glee. Just a touch.
Right. I mean, a lot of these are true believers, like rocket engineers and computer science guys who like really do think that's going to be part of their compensation package. They're going to get to go live in the super Mars colony, which will never exist, and no one should want to live on Mars. But the idea, like you and I, you're from Appalachia, I'm from not far from Appalachia. We're very familiar with the idea of company towns, right? So these guys have traded their negotiating power to get that into their compensation package to be in jobs where they're probably going to end up getting paid in like a company script that's a Dogecoin.
Oh, they're definitely getting Doge.
And when I say it's a company town, they already live in company housing. You got this picture of like a lot of people live on site at work in these Airstream trailers. You got this photo about it, you can throw it up. They
live in hell.
Yeah, These guys.
Imagine they went to tech school thinking, I'm gonna live in Palo Alto. I'll be fucking non-binary chicks down in San Francisco on my weekends. I'm gonna make $600,000 a year, and then because they're stupid, they end up in an Airstream in the middle of desert Texas, working for a dipshit. And the best picture, the one he hung up, makes him look like the Chainsaw Massacre. This is the greatest Schadenfreude, I can't say that fucking word, of all time.
Yeah.
These people, everyone in those trailers deserves to be there. Every single one of them. The most Republican thing about me in my life ever, the most Republican emotion or thought I've ever had is every one of those people deserve that. And no one should save them.
I mean, like, look, they, like when I say they wanted this and they asked for it, I really thought there was a chance Elon would lose this election, because when you have a chance to do a secret ballot to tell your boss to fuck off, who wouldn't take that chance, right? But the problem is this town is already super Elon-y, super culty. The road leading off the highway is named Mar-a-Lago. Murals of Musk's
So many
face.
bad jokes.
The buildings feature murals of Musk's face and the Doge Shiba Inu on these are on 30 feet concrete towers. That gold bust of Elon they showed in the news report that had the bandage on it. Here's what it looked like before. All right, the giant gold bust, literally golden calf of Elon.
That's supposed to be Elon?
Yeah. I guess back before he gained a little weight. And
No, he's never looked like that, Mark. He's never. No, I'm not even being funny. That's never been what he looks like. That looks like a meme with the Chad jaw. Go ahead, though.
Right. Oh yeah. Right. And even when he was young, when he was that young, he didn't have hair. He got his hair back when.
When he was that young, he looked even more dough-faced. He had surgery on his face.
Yeah. He does.
He's the biggest loser.
Yeah. Let me quote here about the cultiness of it. In a recent weekday in downtown Starbase, downtown's in air quotes in this Politico article, a man on an electric scooter and wearing a t-shirt reading, quote, "For God, for country, for space exploration," whizzed down a newly paved road named Memes Street.
We live in hell.
This I'm not sure if this is a company store, but it might but it might as well be a company store. There's a store in town that sells a votive candle where Elon's a saint holding a Shiba Inu. If you got this, man. So I don't know what to make of people who will vote themselves into servitude. But they know the stakes, right? I was trying to think of like how I would do this, because obviously you don't want the vote against Elon to be unanimous, right? Because then he knows all of his employees voted against him. What you wanted to do is lose like 55-45, where you can all say you voted for it, so none of you get fired, right? That's what you do, the game theory of this, right? But they apparently had no coordination at all, and they all just like either said we voted for it because we love Elon, or voted for it because they're scared of Elon figuring out they didn't vote for it. But anyway, I hope they never find out who the six are. They're the only sane employees who work there.
I guess it's possible that whoever counts the votes is just completely... I mean, we have at least entertained as a culture the possibility that Elon rigged our national election. So the notion that he knows who's voting for what out of 212, really not that far-fetched. You know, I don't think he's the genius everyone thinks he is, but I bet he knows how to read.
There's also a scenario where, like, you could have voted to turn it into a city, so basically the government could function like your union, where you could rein Elon in, right? Like maybe.
Oh, 100%.
But no, that's not exactly what they did either, because they are like the first potential mayor they already have in like the incorporation documents is a guy named Gunnar Milburn, who's SpaceX's current security manager. So Elon's made his corporate general his fucking mayor, it was going to be mayor, but now it's been replaced by a guy named Robert Peden, who's the vice president. Two other employees who are executives are probably going to be city commissioners. Now, why only a mile and a half, and why just the employees? And that's where you get into the real crux of why they want corporate control over the local government here. The company's not super popular with the general area because they poison the water, they restrict public beach access, the fucking rocket launches break people's car windows and shit from the vibrations and the noise. People fucking hate this, and all the economic benefits go to like coders and rocket engineers who moved there from elsewhere. The complaints are basically that they've gentrified the border. So yes, there are like now we have $100 entree sushi restaurants that we can't afford to go to. That's the economic benefit to the community.
It's so funny that every time lately and maybe in history something like this happens and someone needs to get shot, it's a Republican who's not even pissed at the right thing who does it. I just realized that this is how Elon dies. It's not because of the fascism and the fact that he helped Trump get elected. It's not the fact that he's promoting what's going on with shipping random people abroad, or the fact that he's helping push and maintain a genocide, or the fact that he's like a foreigner taking over our government. It's just going to be some good old boy whose wife didn't get to go to the fucking beach one last time before she died of the poisoning he put in the water, and he's going to go full fucking Texas on this dude, and he's going to be like, look, every man in my family's killed an African. I didn't know mine to be white, but I'm just glad to do my fucking part, and then put a bullet between his fucking eyes. And in some ways, you got to love that about America.
Yeah. No comment, FBI. So the
Well, fuck you, FBI. You're gonna be the ones who do it.
you didn't even mention Elon's like resume of evils there. That all the USAID funding cuts were the last estimate I saw were 25 million children are going to die around the world in the next few years. So that's part of it too. Like,
Oh, good.
yeah. You make a case that he said it's not fair to call him Hitler because he actually hasn't actually hurt anybody. I'm like, well, was Stalin a monster for engineering a famine that killed a bunch of Ukrainians? Because that's essentially like a passive genocide. I think if you think Stalin's bad for that, I think you can say Elon's guilty of a similar crime.
My only pushback is I don't know if starvation should be called passive genocide, but other than that, I am with you. I think you're cooking with heat, unlike... Anyway.
People that live in Airstream
Gaza.
trailers on SpaceX. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Sorry. Yeah. So SpaceX in Texas right now is also supporting a legislative package, one bill for the House, another for the Senate. And the identical bills would give municipalities with spaceports the ability to limit access to public beaches. Which
Such a funny... No, everybody who has one of these can do this.
All you got to do is put in a spaceport and you can restrict access to public beaches. I've never seen one guy try to take over the government like this. It's kind of fucking hilarious. But
I have.
Texas.
There's that documentary about the cult that did it in Portland, in Oregon, that was on Netflix. I think it was called Wild Country. That's happened a few times in America. It always ends with multiple deaths.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I'm talking about every level. It's like control running half of DC is not enough. You also got to control these Texas State House and the mayor of Space Base, and you got to make it so a bunch of Texans, some everyday Texans, can't go sit on the beach on the weekends and have a beer because you want to be able to blow up rockets over the beach. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying, and you already said you got to give it to. I think you said Elon. You gave it to somebody you shouldn't have given it to. So now I'm going to give it to Elon. Elon's only skill. The only one that's superior to most people's is understanding that clout and the algorithm were more important for his company's stock than whatever the fuck they were doing on the ground. And then related to that is this move. I think he understands power, both in terms of online and literal. I think Elon Musk actually understands how power works and engages with it in a way in which... And he's doing it to himself. I'm not even trying to be funny or even get people excited for something that maybe won't happen. Someone's going to kill him because his relationship to power is such that he's really good at accumulating it, but he doesn't understand that it's just like when he buys Twitter and he tries to make himself cool. You can't make people like you. Well, you can't buy the mayorship people not to shoot you. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you can buy Twitter and then make it illegal for me to make fun of you, but I'm still going to make fun of you. You can become the mayor and make it illegal for people to carry guns. They'll just do it. I'm telling you, he's going to get murdered.
I think who I was about to give it up to was the Texas legislature, which I rarely do, but one of those bills failed to advance. It looks pretty dead. So Elon is not going to be king of the beaches. He also wanted to be able to close the highway, which is you want to talk about making people fucking murderously angry. You're just going to I'm just going to do traffic. Elon
I wish they'd have let him. See, that's what I'm saying. I genuinely wish they would have let him because he has this insane skill to get bills like that passed or done in his favor, but he doesn't understand what's going to happen when he does. They should have let him. They should have let him do it and then called every traffic jam the Elon's traffic jam. We'd be rid of this problem in 3 weeks, dude.
So I had I've been following this for a little bit, and I had some hope that that he was going to lose this, and not just because there were people, activists working to try to defeat this measure, and when the video, the Elon busting that statue, the version they showed had a bandage on it, and the reason it had a bandage on it, if you got this picture, Matt, is large portions of the statue's chin, the left side of his face, were smashed off. They later on covered it up with a tarp, giving the impression it looked like Elon's gold cap bust was wearing like a shower cap. Eventually, they took that off, and Elon thought it'd be funny to give his smashed up statue face these band-aids. There were volunteers canvassing on Meme Street. Fucking hate this story so much. Just so you're trying to resist fascism by canvassing door to door on Meme Street. People told the canvassers that they wouldn't say how they were going to vote. They were scared to talk. They thought maybe the canvassers worked for Elon, trying to figure out how people were going to vote. And then they said some mall cops in bulletproof vests. And again, people everywhere love to cosplay as Chris Kyle again. The mall cops told them to leave, even though they were on a public street. It was already a company town with Pinkertons, where Elon has basically made himself Sheriff Bullshit Connor. Is that anything? I don't know. So not only is this his own, this isn't even his own. You brought up his fucking the harem he's trying to start. We don't have time to get into the whole Wall Street Journal thing. I just wanted to mention it real quick because this isn't his only cult compound. If Starbase is his Jonestown, he's also trying to start his Branch Davidian compound. Wall Street Journal had a deep dive into how he manages all his baby mothers and how many women he's gotten pregnant.
And I'm supposed to think Kanye West is the only insane billionaire.
Dude, this is so fucking. The story came out a couple weeks ago, so you might have already heard other people talk about it. But so the lead anecdote here is Ashley St. Clair, who we mentioned before. She's a former internet OnlyFans person who pivoted to being a right-wing Nazi adjacent influencer who Elon hit up on DMs on Twitter and eventually got her pregnant. Elon refused to take a paternity test. He's suspicious the child isn't his because they actually had sex. I need everyone to try to wrap their minds around this for a second.
Right. All of his other kids were done by artificial insemination, so he doesn't even believe he can get a girl pregnant this way.
Well, so his first 11 kids were all boys, which there's only one way to accomplish that odds-wise, unless you have Mega Millions type lottery odds. You do sexual selection and in vitro fertilization. So he actually had sex with her and knocked her up, but because when you do it in a lab, you have a medical documentation that your sperm impregnated that chick, right? So he's basically been giving her the runaround about child support and holding her up. He tried to put in her contract that she had to do a cesarean. Elon believes that vaginal births limit brain size because they smush the brain. I want to think about how dumb that is for a second. It doesn't occur to Elon that big skulls lead to C-sections as opposed to vaginal births making heads smaller.
Look, man. Here's what I've been saying, some version of this on stage, on and off for a little while. My dad thinks he's impressive. My wife thinks he's scary. For the first time in my life, I'm a centrist. Every Republican impressed by this guy is the stupidest person alive. Every Democrat afraid of this guy is the stupidest person alive. Now, I want to be very clear on the back end there. If you're afraid of fascism, I get that. If you're afraid Trump's going to... But Elon's just the dude he put in charge to get shot. Donald Trump has outsmarted Elon Musk. This is where I cannot express this enough. Someone will murder Elon Musk. And on that note, I just want to say, too, about company towns. Mark brought up Appalachia, where I'm from, earlier. We had the Pinkertons. We had company towns. The way we beat them is with violence. And that's not me. That's just me saying the truth. Texas is not going to take this if he... The only thing that will save Elon is if he just gets over it. When it actually starts getting a little uncomfortable down there, he just kind of goes, you know what? I can just live in California. No one there. They all hate me there, but they won't shoot me. And I'm rich enough that I can buy a few of them off to hang out with me. Texas will eventually turn on that man and kill him. I hope. And I don't mean I hope just because I hope he dies. I do mean it for that reason, but also because if it doesn't happen, I don't know Texas anymore.
I just like, again, to bring up the Branch Davidians again, like, this has happened before. And so the Wall Street Journal is trying to figure out exactly how many kids Elon has, because publicly he has around 14 that we know about, okay? So, but people close to Elon say the number is much larger. One person said probably 50 to 100. Vivian, his trans daughter he doesn't recognize, said in an interview with Teen Vogue that she doesn't know how many half-siblings she has. He texted, Ashley Sinclair showed the Wall Street Journal her texts. He tried to tell her, he refers to his offspring as a, quote, legion, a reference to the ancient military units that contained thousands of soldiers and were key to extending the reach of the Roman Empire. And he suggested that to Sinclair, they bring in other women to have even more of their children faster. He wanted to create a race of Musk's and Ashley Sinclair's offspring with an army of surrogates, quote, to reach legion levels before the apocalypse. We will need to use surrogates. And then Ashley Sinclair, who again is a cam girl turned Nazi adjacent influencer, is the exact quote from her, quote, "This guy is fucking weird."
Oh man, and scene. Just wait till the Republicans of Texas find out there's an immigrant down at the border who's taken over the government, has rocket power, and is having a bunch of babies out of wedlock. Just wait till they find out about this immigrant. I don't want to harp on it too much. Let's do an over-under. I think he's dead within 5 years.
You want to do a death pool for billionaires? Yeah.
More than I want anything in the world do I want that. And the money we make off of it will buy a senator.
Yeah, there we go. It's what we need to do is buy the military. And yeah, what Trump's saying about, what Drew's saying about the how many towns is correct. You can Google Mother Jones and Blair Mountain. But thank you, Drew, for coming on, buddy. I think we're about out of time. I appreciate you, bud.
Thanks for having me on. Check out Gravy Baby, my podcast. Follow me on social media at Drew Morg Comedy on all of them, or Drew Morgan on Facebook. Everyone for listening, I thank you. And I don't think any of you should shoot Elon Musk, but I think someone will.
Yeah, predictions are not advocacy.
100%.
Yeah. So as for us, check out Trey's tour dates at TreyCrowder.com. Watch Trey's special, and if you like the show and want to support it, subscribe to the Patreon for $5 a month. Get 2 extra episodes. And there's something I'm forgetting. Oh, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, people. We always forget to say that. And subscribe to the podcast feed, even if you watch on YouTube or whatever. That really helps us out. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you. See you next week.
We get naked on the Patreon.
Hell yeah.